is Marina from Darkstar Astrology, bringing you the new moon, the first new moon of the year, which is, of course, in Aquarius, because we're in January now, and it will fall at 4 degrees of Aquarius, and it's going to be square Uranus, so an ultra Aquarius moon. And the healing crystal I chose was the Kambaba Jasper, and the fixed stars are Dahib and Jedi. Not Jedi, but maybe it is a Jedi, in constellation Capricorn. And the tarot card is going to be the 5 of Swords, a nice cheerful card. But anyway, it's probably Uranian in a sort of way. So it's all about the head of Baphomet with this moon, because Dahib is found in the head of the goat, and Jedi are the 2 stars in the goat's horns. And this new moon speaks of the youthful tendency to live in the moment and become a slave to Venus and her tempting baubles. So when we are young, we want to gorge all the sweets in the shop without thinking of the consequences. And when we're older, we learn the value of deferred gratification. So the new moon makes a promise that if you do indeed make a sacrifice, then you shall be handsomely rewarded. So what does it mean to have the new moon in Aquarius Decan 1? Well, the needy embryonic moon is not really comfortable in this decan, which is so much about cutting the umbilical cord to freedom. It's also one that will tend to rebel against its mother country and feel at odds in whatever home they find themselves. The moon here is continually searching for the promised land, but rarely finds it. And this new moon is so idealistic that it finds squaring its high expectations with earthly domestic reality extremely hard. However, by the end of the month, any alienation that is felt matures into great self-sufficiency. The ability to look after oneself then is in turn bestowed upon the various waifs and strays that this new moon can attract. At this time, we might find ourselves providing temporary accommodation for those making difficult life transitions. A cosmic home is found amongst other outsiders. So, you can see it's a sort of ultra Aquarian new moon. I suppose because it's the first decan, and the first decan is always more Aquarius than the other ones. And also just because of that square to Uranus. Now, some examples of Moon Aquarius 1 people are John Dee, the magician for Queen Elizabeth I, Charles Manson, Vladimir Lenin, revolutionary, John Lennon, revolutionary of sorts, Kate Bush, she's very weird. Also, Larry Hagman, who used to play JR in Dallas. I mean, he was known to be a complete eccentric and would play jokes on people all the time. Russell Crowe and Callista Flockhart. Do you remember her? Ally McBeal. She was very kooky. I always thought of her as being quite Aquarian as well. So Moon square Uranus. Now this is an interesting one because at the moment, as I record this, it's the 13th of January, and the Queen is having this summit with the royal family and Harry because of him leaving the womb here. And interestingly, if you read the meaning for Moon square Uranus, it says loves to shock, may spend their life rebelling against their mother country, as I said before, rejecting their own culture by marrying someone of another race or moving to a country where they become alien. So actually, it's a similar theme to Aquarius Decan 1, isn't it? And that was about rebelling against the mother country. So I thought, I'm repeating myself, but no, it's the same themes. So volatility as well, and also weirdly as well, Princess Diana had moon opposite Uranus, and so did Dodi Firehead as well, and so did Louis Mountbatten, Lord Louis Mountbatten, who, so he had an IRA bomb. He died in a bombing. I think he was out fishing or something. But anyway, it's a kind of shocking aspect, and we have a shocking new moon. Now, I think this Harry and Meghan thing, sorry to bring it up again, but it just seems so connected with this new moon. I just think we're still going to be talking about this in 10 days' time. So yeah, I think it's very appropriate. This moon seems to be just hitting on all the themes as well. And also, if you look at the chart too, you have Mars square Venus in it, and with Venus conjunct Neptune, which is very glamour but deception. It's sort of, yeah, it's making me think of Meghan as well. And also the theme with the tarot card. So this could be talking about the press in a way as well. So Five of Swords, it's seen as self-serving or as someone who profits from the anguish of others. Karmically, we have to look at this card as meaning this decan has suffered abuse from ruthless actions or has been the perpetrator of harsh behaviour. Altair's eagle in this decan is a predator, so it's not surprising there can be a sharp edge to this. Teach Me Tarot says the Five of Swords can sometimes symbolise the overcoming of inner demons and negative mindsets. The battle fought for personal freedom would not have come quickly or easily. The battle may have been a personal challenge for you and one that others believe you could not succeed in. So these are kind of the themes that are going with this new moon. It does give you, I mean, those touched by this moon will, I think, see that their intellect is kind of sharpened by it, and it can also symbolise swift and decisive thinking. So, yeah, I think very impulsive decisions will be made at this new moon because of Uranus as well. Just kind of like out of the blue, major announcements here. I mean, the announcements already happened, but I was just wondering whether for Aquarius is in their chart. Oh, actually, Meghan Markle has Mercury at 5 degrees Leo. So this moon will be opposite her Mercury. Yeah, so looking at this chart, I mean, it does look like a bit of a divorcey type chart, really. Maybe a lot of divorces announced at this new moon. You know, starting the new year afresh, dump the spouse. But also, of course, we've got Pluto and Saturn still conjunct as well. Oh, and by the way, Saturn is actually on Peacock. And I chose Peacock as the illustration just because it goes with the... Well, yeah, let's get on to that. Where is it? The first face of Aquarius. So you can see that it is a man whose head is mutilated and holds a peacock in his hand. This is a face of misery, poverty, and slavery. So I think this is a kind of being a slave to your desires, really. You know, the baubles of Venus, and yeah, a slave to materialism as well. See, Capricorn is also capricious, and its negative sides are being overly materialistic. It is very celebrity culture and feeling that you're special because you've got money. And it's incredibly snobbish as well. So, sorry, I can't help but see this moon in the connection with the West. What are they called? The Sussexes, Royal Sussex. God, I can't help but see it through that because the themes are just there. So look at the meanings of the new moon, the moon on these stars. So Jeddah Prima is peculiar events, unexpected losses and gains, sometimes great good fortune. On the other side, Dahib is successful in business but retires under a cloud, favourable for wealth, influential position but scarcely realises ambitions, trouble through opposite sex, deserved criticism and censure. We also have to remember that Capricorn is actually a sea goat with a fish's tail, and he's said to be Pan, who fled to Egypt chased by Typhon. He escaped by turning his body into partly a goat and partly a fish. So this is someone who's like running away. Also, Manilus says of Capricorn, hence comes a restless quality in their lives and a mind which is often changed and floats this way and that. For the first half of the sign is a slave of Venus, and that with guilt involved, but a more virtuous old age is promised by the conjoined fish below. So somehow the fish's tail is seen as being a more positive things. I think it is, with Jedi Prima, gives beneficence, sacrifice and offering. Jedi Secunda, which is the other goat's horn, associated with piety and self-sacrifice. So, I think I think with age, like with young people, this is going to be the sort of diva Venus side of things. But as you get older, then it's going to be, so I think in personal lives, I think people will be making these kind of break for freedom decisions and divorce type of actions as well. But then I think once it dawns on them after a couple of weeks, because a new moon lasts a month. So I think a couple of weeks you got this kind of like Uranian break free energy, but then the reality sort of sets in. It's like, oh my God, I'm going to have to earn my own money, or, you know what I mean? The grim reality of Saturn will come into it, because freedom does come with a price. You have to let go of some of Saturn's securities. So to help deal with this, I picked the crystal Kambaba. No, it's not Kambala. It's Kambaba Jasper, which is a stone of peace and tranquility, imbued with the nourishing green energy of nature, which is, useful with Capricorn. We've got that green energy as well. Its dark mystic circles and deep green swirls comfort and protect, calms and relaxes, soothing troubled minds and restoring balance to the body and spirit. Its slow, steady frequency expands one's ability to focus and is a remarkable aid in meditation, granting the feeling of negative thoughts and feelings, especially those that plague one's consciousness on a continual basis. It's an ideal worry or rubbing stone, really good for soothing the nerves and banishing nightmares or harmful thoughts as well. It's really good for deep sleep. So really good for anxiety just by holding it in your hand and rubbing it. So that's the astrology part. Okay, so here I am with my new iPhone camera, and I'm using the onboard mic. I think it might be all right, actually, but otherwise I could try. Let me know. We'll see. But anyway, so what can we talk about? Well, really, I'm so surprised that people are so interested in this Meghan and Harry thing, because I posted the video about it and it was 1,000 views overnight, which is quite quick. Usually it's about half that with anything I put up. So obviously it's something that's really interesting people. And I was trying to figure, what is it? Why is it so interesting? I think it's because it touches on very human issues. And the main one being, I think, everyone experiences being a daughter-in-law, or an in-law. And it doesn't seem to bother men so much. I think they don't really need to be accepted so much by their wife's family. But I think but for women, we really want to be accepted by our in-laws. And if we feel that we're not, then it becomes a big fight between, it's like possession over the guy. So it's like, it's difficult because, well, actually no, because with Meghan, I keep forgetting the Queen is not Harry's mother. It's Diana, but she's not around. So and I'm sure Charles, be fine with Meghan, and so it's really the Queen. So she's the big matriarch she's battling against, and I think what it is also because Meghan's grown up in woke culture. She's a totally different generation to the Queen. I mean, the Queen is 92. So, I mean, when I think of my grandmother, who's no longer with us, their values are so different from the millennials. I mean, I feel like there's I'm Gen X, so it's only their generation below me, and I feel there's a huge jump there. But can you imagine from the Queen's generation? So, and also because of where because I was trying to explain this to my daughter as well. I said, they are in such a bubble. You see, the celebrity bubble is one thing, but at least, with celebrities, you're going to get a diversity of people and, ethnic cultures. So, you're going to meet so many people from different backgrounds. But royalty, I mean, they go to private schools, and it's all pretty much white elite people. So there's probably a few minorities, but not many. And yeah, so I mean, I think the only minority they may come across, from what I know of people who went to private schools, I don't know many, but my best friend's brother, he went to private school, and he was half Indian, and he said there's a lot of Jewish. That's it, really. But it was pretty much, the white elite. But so yeah, they're not going to rub shoulders with diversity at all. So it's even more. It's just so different. So of course, Meghan has been brought up in a world where, there's microaggressions, and there's micro racism, and there's micro sexism. So all those things. So she's going to be expecting it or looking for it. So if you're looking for it, you'll find it. Of course you will. Of course you will. And especially the difference between, you see, this is a problem as well. America and England, we speak the same language. Oh, but my God, it's different. It's different. And the class system as well. I mean, that's another thing. The classes are very different. In England, we've got working class, we've got middle class, and we've got upper class. Upper class, So, and the weird thing is that upper class and working class actually are closer, I think, in mentality. They sort of know their place. That's the thing. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I think, it's like working class do look up to the upper classes, and upper classes know their place in terms of it's their duty. Whereas the middle class are flexible, they're very mercurial, but they're also very mercantile, and it's all about money. So yeah, so I sometimes think, they don't really understand. You never understand the class that's right next door to you. Whereas if you jump up to the upper class and the lower classes, or working class, sorry, they sort of understand each other, and I think they have more in common. You get more. I mean, I've noticed this. Like, very upper class people are quite base, and so are working class people. But the middle class are all very genteel. I think they're very insecure in their class, almost. It's like they have to prove themselves all the time. Like, they have to prove they're not racist, or they have to prove they just have to prove that they're not chavs or whatever. I don't know. So, and I think Meghan comes from that class because she's been brought up in Celebrityville, although maybe her childhood is more working class. I don't know. But if she's grown up as an actress, that is like middle class. It's champagne socialist, isn't it? So I think it's not understanding the aristocracy, really, or the upper classes. And so yes, I just wanted to talk about that, really. And it is like trying to mix. I mean, we're trying to mix the moon with Uranus here. So womb expulsion. I think this story is going to run because it touches. It's of interest to everyone, and we'll see what happens. But whether it'll mean the end of the monarchy, I don't know. And another thought as well, because people have been saying that they don't think Meghan's chart is hers. I wonder about it, actually. Yeah, it doesn't seem. It seems too timid, but the thing is, a lot of very timid people do, well, you know, construct a kind of image. She's an actress, so she's playing the part of this kind of feisty feminist, but maybe deep down she's extremely insecure, especially if she's come from, it sounds like she's come from quite a broken background. I mean, if her father didn't come to the wedding, you know, why was that? Strange. It's very, very strange. So maybe she is very fragile. Maybe she's a lot more timid than we think, and it's all an act. You know, she's an actress after all. Anyway, so that's all I want to say about this. That's my rant for the week, and I'll speak to you next time. All the best. Bye-bye.